G'day legends and thanks for tuning in. This week we're back on the Detroit Dodge. See if we can get the engine and transmission mated together, slot it in the big rig and see what else we can sort it out. So grab your frothy, your coffee, kick back, relax and enjoy the vid. Rightio legends, so like I said in the last video, this thing was only sort of just sat together, mocked up. The tray I've taken off, sat outside. The cab's not even sort of bolted in position, so as you can see the cab's got to come back a bit. So what I'm going to do is spend a bit of time straight up. I want to get the cab sitting on the front mounts, get it bolted on the rear mounts. Then I'll probably actually pull the front clip off this thing, work out what I need to pull off the firewall. Obviously, yeah, the battery tray has got to go. I'm going to pull the steering column out, brake master cylinder, probably the throttle linkage, anything sort of on the firewall that's not needed and is going to interfere with the donk. So I'll spend a bit of time, like I say, get the cab mounted, get the front end off, get all that stripped. Then I'll move my attention to the engine, get that flywheel housing mounted, get the transmission bolted to the engine, and yeah, see if we can get that slotted in to the engine bay. See what's going to interfere, see what height the engine's going to sit. It doesn't have the correct mount to sit on the factory mount there, so I don't know if I'm going to source a factory Dodge Detroit mount or just modify what we've got on the front of this thing. As you can see, these spacing's way too wide, so I could probably just make an adapter mount or, like I say, source the factory one. But anyway, we'll rip into getting this cab mounted and get the front sheet metal off and see what we're working with, eh? Rightio legends, so we've had a bit of a success here. The cab's actually sitting on the mounts now. I've got the rear mounts bolted on as well, so the cab's sitting in its correct position. Obviously got the front end off, stripped everything off the firewall. That's not needed for now, so we've got a nice blank canvas, and I actually pulled the section. This is the rear mount for the old International V8, so that I'm pretty sure is going to get in the road. And looking at it, where that member bolts in there, I think I'm going to be able to make mounts, depending if it lines up or not, I'll be able to make mounts off the flywheel housing here. As you can see, there's a pad like that each side. So if that lines up, that'll work out really good to be able to make a set of mounts for it. And I had a look at the front mount here. I've unbolted it, it's hanging down here. I had a look at that, and the engine's going to be sitting quite a bit lower than what that mount where it was sitting, so I got rid of it. So also got rid of the steering arm for now, the drag link, because measuring the sump and where this thing's going to sit, the sump's going to interfere with that steering link, and it'll probably do the same with the new front axle for this thing. Not sure what I'm going to do about it just yet. I know for a fact that the internationals, the 4x4 internationals, their steering rod did a big loop like that to clear the diff. So I know these things did that from the factory. So it may be a case of, yeah, like I say, making a drag link to clear the sump. It's not going to be a big detour, but I'm thinking by the measurements that I've done, it's definitely going to interfere with the steering arm. So anyway, we'll go ahead. I'm thinking about just cleaning that flywheel housing up and bolting to the engine and sitting the engine in here for now, minus the transmission, because the transmission's got all the clearance in the world. I'm not worried about that. The main thing is where the engine's going to sit, get the sump clearance like off the ground sorted, work all that out, make sure the height, you know, the top of the engine's not going to stick out above the cab and all that jazz. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Clean that flywheel housing up, get it bolted on the engine, and yeah, sling her up and sit it in here and work out yeah, where this thing's going to want to sit, and try and get it sort of as low as we can, and maybe, yeah, get the cab and the truck a little bit lower, but that remains to be seen. So yeah, let's get this flywheel housing on, eh? Rightio, legends, there she is. The big girl's in. Answered a lot of me questions, but now it's sort of raised a few more. So basically the flywheel housing sitting up against the firewall, so I'm gonna have to recess the firewall if the engine lives there. It's currently sitting on, the sump's sitting on the front axle, so obviously it can't live there, but so it's either gotta come up to give the axle clearance, or if it goes backward, if it goes down and back about, if it goes backwards about 4 inches and drops down into the recess there, then the flywheel housing, everything to do with the rear of the engine will clear and I don't have to recess it, but then the sump's gonna interfere with the steering arm. So got a bit of thinking to do. The front mount sort of is gonna be a fairly straightforward situation, same as the rear mounts. The rear mounts will actually be easier if it does duck back. So like I say, it's going to work out either way. I've got, as you can see, looking front on there, there's plenty of clearance here for an air cleaner, manifold situation, whatever I'm going to do here. I would like to just run like a big 14-inch air cleaner on this thing, but I don't know how much air it's going to move. It probably won't hold a paper filter. Paper filter will probably want to cave in on this thing, so I might have a bit of a study of the factory Detroit trucks and see where they sort of mounted. I don't think this thing's got a Dodge front mount on. I think it's just a universal mount, so I might have a bit of a study and a bit of a think, but sort of everything's looking really good so far. So like I say, it all depends on whether I want to play with the steering arm to clear the sump. Like I said, the factory 4-drive enders did exactly that. They put a big dog leg in the steering arm to clear the diff, so I could do that for the sump. And like I say, that would get it sort of down and back, even though I do have enough clearance here for whatever radiator I want to run. But like I said, it has to come off that axle yet, and I don't know if we're going to leave it at this height or drop the truck even more, which would lift the engine up even more. So like I say, answered quite a few of my questions, but yeah, popped up a few more, but all good. At least we got it in there and worked out a few things. So that's gonna have to button it up today, legends. Really happy with what I got done. Like I said, we've established a few things, and yeah, just got to work out a few more, but that's gonna do it. As always, if you like what you see, do us a favor, like, comment, share and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.